Am I live? Let's see here. Do I know how to still work this thing? All right. I guess I'm on here. How y'all doing? Okay. Welcome back to Pills, Potions, and Poisons with me, NAllenRx. I'm a pharmacist. But I'm not here in a professional capacity. However, I do have expert level knowledge and information that I could share with you guys. I think that's how it goes, right? That I can share with you guys. But there's one thing I need you to keep in mind while you're here on the stream. What's that, Allen? I'm not your pharmacist. I'm not your pharmacist. I'm not your pharmacist. What are we talking about tonight, guys? What are we talking about tonight? Oh my goodness, y'all know how I feel about him. It's Robert. And it's not good news. Oh my goodness, was it just me? Well, before we get into it. Okay, so as y'all coming in here, come on in here if you're coming. Come on if you're coming. Engage with my poll, interact with my poll. I have a question there for you guys. It's simple, yes or no. That's easy, okay? So, what's the setting tonight? Tonight, we're in North Carolina and welcome me back. I said I was going to be done for the summer, but I had to come on back for this one. Shout out to my research team as always. KT Pretty Brown Eyes, wherever you at out there in this world. Thank you so much. She keeps me with, the information. She keeps giving me all the tips. She's like, girl, what's up? Why you don't be knowing what's going on in the news no more? I'm like, girl, I've been in the fog for about 2 years now. I'm coming out though. I'm on my way out. Anyway, what's the setting for tonight? We're in North Carolina. What did they say? Throw your hands up, take your shirt off, twist around your head, swing it like a helicopter. North Carolina is known as the what state? It's known as the It's known as the Tar Heel State. Okay, the Tar Heel State. Shout out to y'all out there in North Kakalaki. Is that y'all? Was it just me? Am I the only one that didn't know that Robert was in North Carolina? For some strange reason, I thought Robert was in the Empire State of New York with Diddy, but I guess he's not. They have transferred this guy. They be moving them prisons though. Y'all know him. Y'all know somebody in jail. I be knowing y'all. Y'all be knowing all kind of people. So what happened? They throwing these words out there. They scaring us, people like me, fans like me. I don't, we gonna get into this, but I know some of y'all, and I'm trying to figure out like what's the deal. Some of y'all, still got some ill feelings about Robert, okay? But y'all don't have this. I feel like the feeling is not as strong when it comes to Diddy. What's up with it? It's because it's alleged these underage individuals. But I guess it ain't alleged. But I don't think he went to. That's not what they charged him with on none of that stuff. But anyway, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start this stream off by, we're gonna do this a little bit of throwback. We're gonna play some clips and we're gonna talk about what we think happened. Okay, and y'all hear this word overdose, it sounds scary. You're like, oh my God, Robert R. Kelly, 12 play himself, whatever we call him these days, download kind of, could be a little sketchy these days. We don't know when we say download, but y'all know download. In this case, it means sneaky. But these people, they be into all kind of, interesting things. Anyway, you hear the word overdose and you like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Is he dead? People don't die when they overdose. Now they do overdose when they overdose. They took a little bit too much. I got my own theories about this. Of course, it's conspiracy theory, but as a licensed practicing pharmacist, I don't really, a lot of this is not adding up to me. Y'all know how I do. I be making these predictions, and a lot of times I'll be right. If I stay on here long enough, we're going to figure out exactly what happened. Y'all work with me. And if you in here, let me know if you can hear me and see me in the chat. I ain't been on here in a while. Y'all know I'd stay gone long, just enough to get a little bit rusty. So if you can hear me and if you can see me in the chat, I would greatly appreciate if you drop me a good. You can drop me a pill emoji. You can drop me a flame. You can drop me a white coat in there. Let me know y'all on my team and y'all working with me tonight. Y'all see I got these braids for y'all. This is just my second time having braids in my whole life. So, I'll be like, what? Craig. Boo. So anyway, all right, let's go. We're gonna go back. We're gonna get a little throwback. We're gonna do a little throwback to when he made this famous statement where he was saying he was fighting for his life. And if y'all remember that, drop me a Y down in the chat. Y'all get in the chat. If you in the chat, get active in here. Let me know that you can hear me, you can see me. Let me know if you got an opinion about this. This is the internet. It's Beyonce's internet, but it's freedom of speech up in here. We still can do that. So guys, voice your opinions, your concerns, your questions, suggestions, and your corrections while I try to pull this up, okay? All right, give me just a second. I told you I stay gone long enough to forget how to do this. Okay. They say Robert was unhinged. This is before. This is leading up to the situation. Wait, here. Hold on, y'all. Girl, it was a little rusty now. Y'all remember this? Let me know if we have sound, which we should have sound.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God, all of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships at the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
The 6-part series interviewed 50 people, family members, your former tour manager, numerous women who all claim that you abused them. Yeah. Are you saying every?
And also, guys, stay tuned. I got a little chart. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. But I did a side-by-side comparison between Diddy and R. Kelly. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get real deep into this. The thing that's interesting to me is about, Robert and the overdose. Is that, throughout all the allegations against him, there were not really any drugs being brought up in his RICO situation. But we're gonna get into it, y'all. Let's listen to this, because
everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you. Everybody?
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil. And by no means am I a monster.
I'm going to name the names. Andrea Kelly, your ex-wife. Kitty Jones. Lisa Van Allen. Lisette Martinez. Geronda Page.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I didn't mean to show y'all this one. Hold on a second. This is too long. That's not what I want to do. Yeah. Hold on. There's a quick switcheroo.
Okay,
here we
That's exactly what they're doing. They're going back to the past, and they're trying to add all of this stuff now to that, to make all of the stuff that's going on now feels real to people.
But the past is relevant with you with underage girls.
Absolutely no, it's not.
Why?
Because for one, I beat my case.
He beat his case.
When you beat something, you beat it.
You were acquitted.
We can't double jeopardy me like that. You can't. It's not fair. It's not fair to nobody. When you beat your case, you beat your case.
R. Kelly was abusive to me, emotionally and physically and verbally.
Okay.
R. Kelly took me in a black room where unspeakable things happened. This is what they're saying about you. These aren't old rumors.
Not true. Whether they're old rumors.
Does anybody even remember what he went to jail for? Because I don't.
New rumors.
Why would they say this about you?
And they kind of doing the same thing with Diddy. They bringing up all this old stuff. People don't want to hear about no old news. He's like, okay, if y'all got over that, she got over that, she forgave him for that. I don't want to hear that old stuff. Y'all don't like to keep it real. Ain't nothing changed.
Not true.
That you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to.
That-
Why would I?
Well, I'm
How stupid
You've
would it
never
be
held
for R.
anybody-
Kelly, with all I've been through in my way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. Why? How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you
That's
were holding.
stupid, guys.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's
Yes.
stupid. Use your common sense.
Come on.
Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me.
Come
Hate
on.
me if you want to, love me if you want, but just use your common sense.
Come on.
How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through?
Yes.
Oh, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
Who is
That's
that?
it. Y'all quit playing.
Quit playing in his face.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff.
He ain't do
This
it.
is not me. Y'all. I'm fighting for my life.
Okay. I mean, how you had no feeling for him after all this? That man, I believed him. I believed him at the time. Okay, so that kind of gave me a little headache, a low key, honestly. Y'all let me know if you're in here. I mean, I see people are allegedly in this chat. Give me some feedback in this chat. At least say hi, hello, good night, goodbye, good morning. Okay, something to let me know that I do have sound, because I keep looking around up in here. But anyway, so yes, this is where we started it. After that, I think they convicted him of like everything you can come up with in the book. Where are we today? Today, this is what they saying about Diddy, not Diddy. I'm gonna talk about Diddy too. I got Diddy on my mind, bad, don't I? Okay, so let's get into this. I'm gonna read this article to y'all, this People Magazine article, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. R. Kelly said, this is just an overview of what we're gonna talk about. He already saying they after him. They plotting against him. They trying to get rid of him. They trying to take this man life away from him. First of all, I didn't even know. Did y'all know this man got 30 years in prison? I did not know that. I was, KT at work. She sent me the link. I'm like, how much time R. Kelly got anyway? He trying to get out. He trying to get a pardon from the president. What's up? What's up with all of that? And I'm like reading the stuff. I'm like, he got 30 years in jail? What the hell? R. Kelly, 58 years old. Did y'all know that? I did not know this man was 58 years old. I did not know this man had 30 years. I don't know if he got to do like 30 years. I don't know how these sentences go. I'm a pharmacist. I ain't really into prison like that, other than unless I'm watching a prison show 60 days in, some mess like that. But I'm like, what? 30 years? That's the rest of his life. Diddy potentially could get 20 years. I mean, you guilty or whatever, I guess. But golly, that's okay. Okay, let me see. Okay. Let's do that. And let's do that. All right, that's him. Robert. What is this? I didn't even sign in, y'all. Okay, this is what had happened. First got it from TMZ, then we got it from, the Neighborhood Watch and all them other people. I don't know, IG. R. Kelly rushed to the hospital after overdose claims prison officials gave him near lethal dose of meds. Okay, when you first hear this, y'all thinking like, oh my goodness, how could they do this? He already said that after him, how could they do this? I'm thinking like, how did they do this? Because, as a pharmacist, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I can't help it. We have a perpetual inventory. Y'all know what that is? That's like it's ongoing, okay? And I'm sure they have that in the same, facilities, these prison facilities, the infirmaries. I figure like it's like a campus kind of hospital situation. They got the infirmary, probably. I don't know. Y'all let me know if you've been in jail, how I go. They got the infirmary out there, right? And they got medications. Okay. I never worked in the hospital, but I did several rotations at a hospital. Like I stayed at a Holiday Inn. So how had a commercial go? I did several rotations at the hospital. I was at Our Lady of the Lake and I was at Tulane. So I know how they go. So, and this other prison at the, not prison, the other hospital in like St. Bernard Parish. Oh my God, they had the best food in there. I eat that cafeteria food every day. Anyway, yes. So they have an inventory, perpetual inventory. And even if they have these Pyxis machines like they do in the hospital, I don't know if that's what they still call them now. That was been a long time ago since I worked in the hospital. But everything is accounted for, okay? So if a guard or whoever is head, do they have people in the prison that just pass out beds? Do they have technicians in the prisons that just pass out the medications? Or do they have like some kind of nurse in there? Somebody gotta let me know how this go. I should have watched some prison shows before I came over here tonight, but you know, I was pressed for time as usual. So you have to put in a code in the machine to get the pills out, okay? And it's certain controlled substances you can't just get out of there. They gotta come from the pharmacist. The pharmacist might walk it down. They might send it in the chute. It's a lot of like checks and balances, like a lot of checkpoints. You can't just like get 2 or 3 pills or something and, you know, like, here, take them, which is what they kind of said happened, and just give it to them, like, without being able to trace this, okay? The orders, there have to be orders written up, prescriptions, or orders sit down. Then the person that's giving the medications, they check the orders, then they get the, get the medication out the machine or wherever they get it from. However, they got a pharmacy set up in, I thought it was some kind of like central field location. Still confused about how the prison system is set up with their drugs. And they probably don't really want it out there because, you know, people in there will probably try to get them. So I guess they got to keep it a secret unless you work up in there. So I don't really know how it goes up in there. So that's what, there's still like a checkpoint. We can figure out where these pills came from. And we can figure out who gave them. We can figure out who gave the order. We can figure out who wrote the prescription or however it went. Like, this is not something that's like you can just do. You can't just do this, okay? This is not, you know, I'm going to just go get an extra apple off the, you know, lunch table or something. R. Kelly now claims he suffered an overdose requiring immediate medical attention after taking pills given to him by staff while in solitary confinement. Okay, he's in solitary confinement. They say he's been refusing to eat, all that kind of stuff. They got him in solitary confinement. He's on, okay. I got so many things going through my head. It's like, how can I say it out before I get it out? Okay, so he's in solitary confinement. This is why. R. Kelly claims in a third supplement to an emergency motion seeking his release that prison officials gave him a near lethal dose of medication while he was in solitary confinement. The singer and his lawyer, Bo Brindley, are hoping Kelly will be granted a temporary furlough and allowed to serve house arrest due to threats to his life while in prison. People who know about this in the chat, attorneys or whoever, y'all let me know, is this something that you can just do? You like, I'm in prison and I have a 30-year sentence. People in this prison have, you know, put a bounty on my head, or they're trying to get rid of me in this prison. Can I just go home for a little while and just, you know, be under, you know, supervision there? That sounds like, no. And he also trying to get a pardon. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian said in a court filing that he believes placing Kelly in solitary confinement shows that prison officials are trying to protect the singer. They like put him in solitary confinement. He ain't gonna be in general population. That's how we gonna protect him from what he is alleging is happening. Okay. R. Kelly spent 2 days at a North Carolina medical facility over the weekend after he claims he suffered an overdose from medications provided by prison employees. Okay. Okay. The Bureau of Prisons officials administered an amount of medication that significantly exceeded a safe dose and caused Mr. Kelly to overdose, putting his life in jeopardy, reads the third supplement to his emergency motion seeking release from prison due to his fears for his safety. Now, I'm going to be jumping in here and there because I have, you know, I have an opinion about this, okay? Let me say. Okay, so when you hear that, it's like, okay, he had a significant dose. Okay, first of all, what is he on? Okay, we need to know that. We can't violate his HIPAA. We can speculate though. Based off of, some other stuff I read today. He had blood clots. So I'm gonna assume you're on some kind of blood thinner, you're on a warfarin, something like that. He could be on something for anxiety. He could be on something for sleep. I don't know how readily the providers, the doctors, the prescribers that work in these facilities, how easily they would prescribe medications for these patients to take while they're in jail. I mean, jail sound like, you in there for the weekend. Prison, while they're in prison, okay? So I'm just wondering, what was he taking already? And when you hear something like he overdosed, we automatically thinking like opioids. Are we not? Is it just me? And we are thinking that. That's what we're thinking. We're also thinking that probably like on some Xanax or something like that, some kind of controlled substance. That's what we're thinking. But I'm thinking something that really could have it sounds like what I think it is, and why they ain't really naming it, is probably something like warfarin. It's a blood thinner. It's like, okay, you take too many of them, your blood thin out too much, you're gonna be dizzy, you could bleed out. You really could, your blood could be too thin, okay? So, and if you ever had a blood clot, we're gonna get into it. They're gonna tell us about these, but it's like if you ever have a blood clot, you have to be on pretty much blood thinners for the rest of your life. Because you have a blood clot, you have a stroke, like people have a clot in their lungs, they could die, okay? All that's what a stroke is, ain't it? Okay, let me pull this back up. Kelly takes medication for anxiety and to help him sleep, in addition to other medications, state the supplement. They still didn't really tell us what he's taking, but we can guess anxiety. We know there's probably some Xanax or something like that. And if he depends on what they're giving him for sleep, he could be having hallucinations. He could be delusional, so he could be also a little bit paranoid. And people be doing a lot of stuff and they sleep when they be on Ambien. Very few, in the sample population, but very possible. He allegedly showed his medications to prison officials when he was placed in solitary confinement last week. A move his lawyer claims was meant. He showed his medications to prison officials when he was placed in solitary confinement last week. A move his lawyer claims was meant to punish him for filing the emergency motion. He showed his medications to them? I don't understand. Okay, so he allegedly showed his medications to prison officials when he was placed in solitary confinement last week. What does that even mean? Because they have to see what medication he's taking anyway, because they have to administer it to him. It ain't like you can have a pill planner, with all your drugs in your cell. So they knew what he was taking anyway. Well, the people that needed to know knew. Kelly's lawyer also says that the alleged overdose happened almost immediately after he spoke publicly about the singer being kept in solitary confinement. Okay, we're going to go back to that. The third supplement also claims that doctors informed Kelly he had blood clots in his legs and lungs that required surgery, but prison officials refused to let him undergo that procedure because it required a week of recovery. This is what I'm talking about. This is crazy because how can they? They cannot do that, okay? If he has like a legitimate medical concern, diagnosis from the doctor, they saying he has clots in his legs and lungs, which is also painful. They didn't let him undergo procedure because it required a week of recovery. Diddy went to they shut the hospital down and took him overnight to go get an MRI on his knee. Y'all telling me R. Kelly in jail, in prison, and he got clots in his lungs and legs. They probably want to place a stent in there, which is also going to require him to be on like some kind of blood thinner the rest of his life. What? How? Do y'all believe this? And if they did this, they are wrong. I mean, just because people in prison, that don't mean you can mistreat them. You can't just do what you want with them, even like with slavery. It's like you got to have it has to be humane treatment, whatever humane treatment is of a prisoner. I don't know. Okay, y'all let me know. It's like, okay, he's going to have to be out a week. But even though North Carolina, they ain't in the South. They be trying to act like they're in the South, but y'all ain't really Southern. I'm gonna tell you, you ain't really Southern. Now, y'all ain't in the Bible Belt down here where I'm at. Not really, okay? But it could be a little bit of mistreatment based on where we at, in North Carolina. Diddy up in New York, New York a little bit different. They blue, I don't know what North Carolina is. I feel like they switch back and forth, but I'm just going to say they mostly red most of the time. Most of us, the states are down here, okay? Okay. They can't do that. If they like, this man got to have a procedure. I was reading an article the other day about a man, like he went act like he was robbing a bank, like on straw. He act like he was robbing a bank so he can go to jail and get some free treatment. I mean, I'm just saying, okay? Mr. Kelly's life is in jeopardy right now because the Bureau of Prisons denied him necessary surgery to clear clots from his lungs. His life is in danger. If he has clots right now, his life is in danger. The supplement says he could die from this condition. He could. And they are letting it happen. There's no legitimate explanation for that. Okay? Okay. That's R. Kelly. Oh, he's looking so rough. Okay? That's R. Kelly. Y'all know R. Kelly look like. Kelly's lawyer tells the magazine incident occurred June 13th when Kelly woke up in solitary confinement at the Federal Correction Institution in Butner, North Carolina. How long has he been there? Has he been there the whole time? He felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots in his vision. He had a lot going on. He sounded like blood was too thin. The singer has allegedly been in solitary confinement ever since Brindley filed an emergency motion seeking a temporary furlough for his client on June 10th. Okay. The emergency motion claimed that officials within the Bureau of Prisons were plotting to get rid of Kelly and requested that the singer be granted a temporary furlough during which he would be placed under house arrest. They ain't gonna let you come home, Robert. You can't come home, baby. In addition to the motion, the filing included a declaration from an inmate, Michael Glenn Stein, who alleged that he was asked to get rid of Kelly. What? Stein alleged in his declaration that prison officials asked him to carry out or help facilitate the ending of R. Kelly's life before transferring him from a facility in Arizona to FCI Butner. Did y'all know he was doing all this moving around? Because I didn't. I'm thinking Diddy, and I'm not. Diddy, I'm going to talk about you. Don't worry. I'm thinking R. Kelly is still in New York. Crazy. The same prison where he is now serving his sentence. The two men they end up sitting there. They be having a lot of people end up going, I'm gonna stay on topic. A lot of people end up going to prison where my little town where I'm from, Lake Providence, but Mystical was in jail up there. A couple other people in jail up there. If R. Kelly go to jail up there, down there, he's in Louisiana, over there, because I'm in Mississippi. If he end up going there, it's gonna be up in the city, okay? I'm going out this weekend. They say R. Kelly up there, okay? I'm like, you'd be all right up there. Somebody be feeding him home cooked meals and stuff every day. That'd be crazy. Okay, where was I? Okay, the two men even ended up in the same wing of the prison, according to Stein, and he eventually told Kelly about the alleged plot. Oh, he told him. This is Robert. Okay. Stein is no stranger to legal actions, having filed well over 100 civil suits and petitions in federal court over the past 2 decades. What is he doing? He's a specialist. He was also convicted of threatening to assault and a federal magistrate judge. What? And an assistant United States attorney back in 2015 for letters he sent from his cell. Okay. What is this? This is where we at? Why would they show Trump Towers in in Chicago? No date has been set for a hearing on that emergency motion at this time. So Brindley is attempting to get President Donald Trump to pardon Kelly. It told a magazine last week he was in talks with people close to the president. Man, if he get, I think it's gonna be. I was gonna say, what y'all think? If he let R. Kelly out, what y'all think? What y'all think if he let R. Kelly out? If he need to let R. Kelly out, some of y'all don't want R. Kelly out, okay? But I'm on the fence. Okay, I probably feel like this because it wasn't my child, but I wouldn't also have been dropping my child off at R. Kelly house and leaving my child there with R. Kelly. And then my child telling me she's 16 years old, she ain't coming home because she's staying with R. Kelly. And then she stayed on with R. Kelly. Okay, anyway. Okay. So, where was I? So last week, his client had been attacked in the past and that his fears of future incident are only heightened by his belief that officials inside the prison might not adequately protect the singer or refuse to do so. Why would they be? But he in North Carolina. So I'm like, why would they do that? I mean, he got 30 years. He's suffering. He's not happy, okay? He is not safe in federal custody. He's safe in the feds. And to keep him in prison while he is under threat like this is cruel and unusual punishment. Spokespersons for the Bureau of Prisons declined to comment on the allegations, okay? But people obtained the government's response to Kelly's motion filed by the assistant U.S. attorney, Jason Julian, who says he believes placing Kelly in solitary confinement was an effort by prison officials to protect him. They like, we trying. We put him in there by himself. He wasn't around the people. He can't go home. He can't go home, y'all. He then said Kelly is a serial CM Chester, whose criminal abuse of underage individuals dates back to at least President Bill Clinton's first term in office. Now, what the hell they got to do with anything? What they talking about? He said they bringing up old stuff. He later noted Kelly has never taken responsibility for his years of okay, but that's okay. Who are you to tell? That ain't your job. And he probably never will. Okay, who is this talking right now? Okay, it's the U.S. attorney. He like they tried. He been doing this since before then. Okay, but that ain't he ain't get sent. He ain't in trouble for that. So I mean, what you bringing it up for? Not that I'm on his side. I'm just saying. Kelly is currently serving a 30-year sentence. I did not know that. After being convicted of multiple charges of racketeering predicated on criminal conduct in the Eastern District of New York. Okay, this conduct included exploitation of underage individuals, forced labor, and violations of the Mann Act involving coercion and transportation of women and girls in interstate commerce to engage in illegal sexual activity. Okay, y'all. Woo. What we thinking? Y'all in the chat. Regulators, thank y'all. Mount up in the chat. Is that what I say? Mount up in the chat. All right, let me see. I'm gonna address this chat, and we're gonna get into it. We got the condemned man in here. Condemned. What's up? He says they putting hits on folks in prisons. Latest was Tory Lanez. Now they did that with Tory Lanez 14 times. If they not, that's not enough punishment. They like, what's up with that? They say these people be knowing stuff and they threatening to tell stuff. I don't know what that's all about. That's just what I had heard. That does read strange. That didn't make sense. I'm like, what are they trying to say? Because it's not, registering in my head right now. I couldn't get it. Gail at night, she gives me the fiery heart. Okay? What's up, Gail at night? the Kim DM Man speaking together. Thank y'all for being here to chat with me tonight. The rest of y'all who up here, come on in if you're coming. Come on in if you're coming. So I'm gonna play y'all. Okay, this is what's going on right now. This is what's going on right now. But this started the whole deal, according to these people, started 5 days ago. Okay, this started 5 days ago, and what had happened was, okay, let's go back to it. This is what had happened 5 days ago. This is where it all started. They say. Thank you, Gail. At night. I know I told y'all to get a little rusty. Thank you, Gail. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. And as always, let me know if I have sound. Okay. And visuals. Okay.
Long before the walls closed in on P. Diddy, another pop music megastar was charged with racketeering and sex trafficking, among other things. And he was convicted 2 times. R. Kelly has spent the last 3 years, almost to the day, in a medium security federal prison in Butner, North Carolina. His 2022 trial in Brooklyn ended with a sentence of 30 years.
I can't
His
believe
2023 trial in Chicago got him 20 years as well. And they're supposed to run mostly at the same time. But now R. Kelly wants out.
He tired.
And he says his life depends on it. He says that every minute he spends locked up at Butner, he is in danger. And why? The way his lawyers tell it, prison officials want R. Kelly dead. You heard me. The government, they say, has put a target on the singer in prison. And what's more, Kelly's lawyers say the Bureau of Prisons conspired with one of his fellow inmates, a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, to murder him.
That's crazy.
I'm joined now by Bo Brindley, attorney for R. Kelly. Mr. Brindley, I'm so glad to have you on the show. Thanks so much for being a guest. I mean, what I just read, what I just said, it just all sounds very fantastical. Do you have proof?
Well, the answer is we do have proof, and we appreciate the opportunity to be able to come on and talk about it. In terms of proof, the most powerful piece of proof I can provide is the sworn statement of the man who says that he was solicited to kill R. Kelly.
Oh my God. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that's real? Do y'all think that's real in the chat? Interact with my poll. Is the poll still up? I don't even know if the poll is still up. But can y'all interact with the poll? Let me know. Do y'all think this is real? Do y'all think this is a stunt R. Kelly trying to pull? And is this a good stunt if it is? Is this a good stunt?
Michael Glenn Stein has provided us with a full declaration signed, and he's given his willingness to sit down for a polygraph examination administered by either side to testify in court. He has given us the details of who solicited him and when. And I think that's the key here. These are not R. Kelly's allegations. These are the allegations being made by Michael Glenn Stein, who's the person who says that he was solicited to kill Robert and sent to Butner to do it from another facility.
That's crazy.
And we took significant time. Oh, I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to put a lot of the pieces of the puzzle together as you're answering. And I'm just confused if this inmate allegedly said that the Bureau of Prisons sought him out to murder a fellow inmate. Why?
Yeah.
Well, that's an excellent question, and the answer to that is also pretty clear. Mr. Stein, in his declaration, has set forth the reason that was given. The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. And because of that, the Bureau of Prisons instructed Michael Glenn Stein to go to Butner and execute R. Kelly. And Mr. Stein made clear and
That's
gave
crazy.
us extraordinary detail when we spoke to Mr. Stein. We didn't use this until we actually went down and met with Mr. Stein for hours. And he told us in extraordinary detail.
But it's kind of like, you know, that man is a professional. If he done like, you know, threaten the judges and magistrate, whoever, he has also like been doing this for over 20 years. I don't know. I don't know if he's a good person, you know, to be like, yes, they set him up. They wanted to kill him.
That
you know?
this is not the
This
first
man gave his word.
that this happens all the time. That the Aryan Brotherhood has been directed to commit murders and beatings at the behest of prison officials for years. People have been killed who pose problems for officers, for lawsuits. And it happens. According to Mr. Stein, not only will he tell you that it happens, he will explain, when given the opportunity in great detail, all of these murders in which he has participated, which he has directed other Aryan Brotherhood people to do. This being the most recent.
Can I ask you to just, yeah, like murder's a big deal, right? I think we can all agree on that. And putting a target on someone's head, kind of a last resort. What kind of information are we talking about that allegedly R. Kelly is in possession of that would be unflattering to the government at a level that would, you know, suggest that a hit was put on his head?
Exactly.
Well, let me say it this way. It's not allegedly having evidence. We do have evidence. And one piece of evidence we've already presented in the form of a signed declaration from Keyshawn Mogadamudi, Robert's former cellmate.
What is
and
that?
What he describes is having been solicited by prosecutors who are offering him a reduced sentence in exchange for stealing Mr. Kelly's privileged attorney-client correspondence, funneling it through an identified Bureau of Prisons officer, a corrupt officer, and then that was provided to the U.S. Attorney's Office. This man has made a statement.
Okay.
And both he and Mr. Stein are making statements that are absolutely not in their own personal interest, and yet they've done it anyway. And so we do have that evidence. And what that evidence means is we're talking about prosecutors and Bureau of Prison guards, not just guards, but officials, people that are officers. We're talking about these people committing crimes.
So it sounds like they trying to say R. Kelly is saying that they got a hit out on him because he gonna expose the corrupt prison system. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to y'all. That's what it sounds like to me. R. Kelly like, I'm finna expose him. They like, okay, we got to get rid of him. But it's still like, I don't know. And is he gonna, okay, so this is in North Carolina. All of his stuff started in New York and Chicago. He ain't exposing them. Tell me what y'all think in the chat. I mean, is that worth enough? How long he been in North Carolina? Because I didn't even know he was down.
The theft of Mr. Kelly's mail was a crime, and it was a violation of his constitutional rights. On top of that, there's another prison guard.
Stealing mail is a federal crime. One time, I'm going to tell y'all this story real quick about pharmacy. So one time I had this district manager had a problem. I got a problem with somebody at work. Anyway, so this woman, she was calling, she was going off on everybody up there, including me, mainly me. Because she was like, you little missy. And so I'm like, I'm not talking to her no more. So I kind of had a little situation with the district manager because he was like, you know, they always be trying to act like these customers and patients always right. They was like, well, can you call her back? Because I'm like, I was done with her. She want to transfer her prescription somewhere else. I'm like, where you want to go? Bye. You know, and they like call her back. I say, I'm not going to call her. I'm not talking to her anymore. So, you know, it was down here for me after that, of course, because I'm like, you know, I ain't doing it. Like, I'm your boss. And I'm like, nobody's the boss of me, okay? Nobody controls me, Bobby. Everybody knows that. But anyway, so then he was acting like she was talking crazy, woman. She was like, you know, homebound. She couldn't leave her home. You know, we got some stuff we do, mail order delivery, you know, At the time, we ain't had DoorDash and all that, but you know, some stuff they get delivered. But this particular thing wasn't supposed to be delivered. I'm like, yes, Medicare Part B, you can't do that, and not them. You know, he was like, he said he was gonna take it to her. I say, don't go over there. That's what I said it just like that. I was like, you don't know who you're dealing with this lady. I've been dealing with her. You don't really want to fool her like that. That's what he told me. I knew about the bear thing long before the bear even happened on the YouTube. He was like, well, if you see me wrestling with a bear, you need to help the bear. I'm like, okay. All right, that bear don't need help. That bear gonna eat your ass up. But anyway, so he called her. He was like, yes, such. He was like, well, you know, I could just bring it by there for you. She said, don't you step foot on my porch. And he was like, well, I can leave it in your mailbox. He started trying to work with her. I'm like, you can't work with this woman. She don't let her go. She was gone. You'd have called her back for what? And so he was like, I'm gonna drop it. I can place it in your mailbox, you know, whatever's convenient for you. She said, if you touch my mailbox, do you know that's a federal offense? And I got my shotgun, blah, 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 blah. And then he got on the phone with her after that. And I'm like, I told you that. But he still was mad at me, couldn't let it go. I was like, man, come on. I helped you out. I told you don't call her back. You tried to set me up, and I told you how I was going to go. But anyway, so yeah, you can't be tampering with default mail, okay? So they still R. Kelly mail, that's a problem.
Against which a lawsuit is pending, Tawana Ingram, who also stole other attorney-client correspondence.
Let me jump in here. Because I've been around the block as you have as well. And if I had a dime for the number of inmates who lied under oath, on the stand, you name it, I'd be on a yacht in the Med. I
always got a problem at work. I don't know what I be doing. It just be like, she doing something. I'm like, I'm not. If stuff be crazy, I'm just not gonna do it. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. I'm like, call her back. I'm not calling her back. She wants a prescription transferred to a different pharmacy. I'm gonna respect her wishes and transfer them out. Okay. And you calling her back is not going to help. You try to tell me to call her back, I'm going to respectfully decline. I'm not calling her back anymore, okay? I'm low-key happy she gone, and, you know, I'm going to respect her wishes. You calling her back, I just don't see it working out. And it didn't work out. So, you know, I guess I'll be like, don't listen to me, man.
However, suggesting that the government thinks that this alleged behavior of a cellmate of R. Kelly's is so egregious that the only remedy is to solicit murder sounds a bit crazy. Again, given it would be their word against an inmate. So
it's
you see where I'm coming
outlandish.
from, right? That's why it sounds fantastical. And I guess the other question to add to that is that if the threat is over, meaning the man allegedly solicited to kill R. Kelly has come clean and said, I won't do it. I'm going to sing like a canary.
Then it should be the end.
Where's the threat?
The threat is the other members of the Aryan Brotherhood, another one of which has been identified, who has been asked to carry out what Mike Stein has been unwilling to do. That's what you have to understand. What we're talking about here is government officials who committed crimes, and people in the Bureau of Prisons that committed crimes. Crimes that the current administration, the current Department of Justice will have no sympathy for, I guarantee. And those people have benefited in going after R. Kelly and making their names and getting their publicity and all of that. And now the truth is they did it through constitutional violations. They did it through crimes. That Tawana Ingram, the Bureau of Prisons officer that stole his correspondence, there was a search warrant, they proved it, and they said they were going to investigate the U.S. Attorney's Office. You know what happened to her?
What?
She got her full pension. She walked away, retired, and was not charged. And she did it as an officer.
Well,
no, there was not corruption behind that. I don't understand how that could be.
Right, an inmate doesn't have a pension. So what would possibly be the incentive for an inmate to commit a murder in prison at the behest of the government? Like, what benefit? What do they get?
It depends on the circumstances. But Mr. Stein says is oftentimes what they get is the ability to traffic narcotics freely throughout the facility. What they get is the ability not to be searched. But in this instance, what Mr. Stein has clearly said he gets is the opportunity to be free. I mean, they have said
how
to
can
Mr.
they do
Stein,
that?
according to him, they have said that if he
said make good on the bounty on R. Kelly head, they can move the dope as freely as they want to up in there. Ooh, okay. North Carolina. Is this just North Carolina? Or was this going on before he got down here? Okay.
He is
Now
to
we
do this.
talking.
He is a terminal cancer patient. He's going to die in the near future. That's a fact. And they have said that he will be transferred and he'll get the opportunity to walk away. And Michael Glenn Stein has a history.
They were saying, okay, I read somewhere else, okay, that he was, when they say go free, they were going to let him put him in a position to kind of like escape, like them 20 people that got out of prison in New Orleans. If this place button or anything like my little town, he escaped, but he'd just be walking around town just living. He done got a wife and all kinds of stuff
of escaping from the Bureau of Prisons. He escaped previously. That's why he spent
be doing shows on the
at
weekend.
the ADX Supermax in Florence. And all of a sudden, he was moved to this relatively low security facility at Butner and put near R. Kelly.
See, okay, he was at Supermax, and now they moved him up here to Butner. Okay, at first I was skeptical. At first I was like, what we talking about? What we talking about? But okay, all right, I'm conspiracy. Let's hear more.
And the other fact is, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say I'm out of time in this segment. However, I would like to keep the conversation going with you. I know you have other, options. You're suggesting that maybe even Donald Trump might consider pardoning R. Kelly, though I'm not sure what's in it for Donald Trump. Could you keep me apprised on your efforts to get him, ankle bracelet release and home detention, and your efforts in seeking a federal pardon? Can you keep us apprised on that?
Absolutely. We're going to seek every opportunity to, one, make sure that Robert Kelly doesn't get killed. And number two, to see that he is freed based on what we believe to be and will prove to be a corrupt prosecution, the kind of which President Trump has promised to eradicate. And I believe he's the only person.
Prosecutions?
What?
Two.
What was your question?
Corrupt prosecutions, or were two separate ones? There were two separate ones.
Yes, but the evidence being provided was
corrupt?
both of them.
Okay.
Absolutely. Both of them received.
Okay, keep me posted. I gotta go,
yes,
but Bo Brindley, I really.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so there's the why. There's the why. This is why Robert thinks that they ought to get him. This is why they think he finna expose him. They say, R. Kelly finna be 60 years old or soon. This is so crazy. He got 30 years. Like, does he have to do 30 years? That's crazy. Okay. Wait, what did it say? Show comments on the stage. Oh, if y'all comment, it say show comments on stage. Y'all comment here. Let me see if it's gonna come up or not. Let me know. Write in the chat, see if it's gonna come up. If I'm gonna see it on the screen. I'll comment myself, see if it's gonna show on the screen. I'm gonna focus on what we're talking about. I'm gonna say welcome to the chat. This is what I always put it. Can I see it? Would I be able to see it on my phone? Ah! Look at the comments on the screen. Y'all need to go and make this thing move. Make it move. All the comments on the screen, on the TV. Not on the TV. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes. Woo. Y'all see that? I'm going to throw it up. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Gail. Look, this Gail. You over here, Gail, but guess what? Can you see that? Wait. You over here too? Yes. Okay. See, we upgrading it. We upgrading it. Thank y'all for entering the chat tonight. If you go ahead and make your comments, you will have the pleasure of seeing your comment up on the screen. We can put it on this. It's going to automatically come up on the side, but it can also be brought up to the main screen by yours truly, your host NAllenRx at Pills, Potions, and Poisons. Welcome to the stream. Okay. All right. So, I don't know how I could pull up this chart. I made it in a Word document via ChatGPT, and I have a side-by-side comparison of like what's Diddy going on. Because y'all remember earlier this year, I did a stream on this where Diddy was transported to the hospital during the dead of night, where he was just taken in for an MRI. However, what has happened with Robert is Robert has had an actual medical condition, a medical situation. Okay. And they didn't, to me, from what he's saying, I think that he has made he has a legitimate medical concern. Okay, it sounds like, by a legitimate doctor. He was at Duke, hospital. Shout out to Duke. My cousin went to Duke Law School. Sometimes she be in the chat. Sometimes she don't. She be ninja watching. Hey, cuz. But anyway, so yeah, so I must, we assume that this is a good, hospital. Okay. A lot of times those universities, they be teaching hospitals. Okay. So if they say the man need to have a procedure, he got blood clots in his lungs and in his legs. You throw a clot, you can die. Okay. This is for real. Okay. So anyway, okay. Now I got one more thing I'm gonna play for y'all. And then I'm going to speak in between it, okay, because we're going to get into it about the drugs. Thank you, Gail, at night. Thank you, Gail. And talk about, what's really happening with, because there's no way, if this happened the way that he said it happened, then we're going to be able to nail down exactly who did what. Because when it comes to these drugs, in the legal drug game business, which is where I'm at, you can trace and track all this stuff. He's like the chain of custody, like with evidence. There's a chain of custody with drugs. Okay, we know when it comes from the warehouse, whoever, especially for controlled substances, we know where all of this stuff. Like this is this point. This is what happened at that point. Okay, this is that point. Okay, I got one more, and I'm gonna use somebody else's thing. I mean, I could read it for y'all, but y'all know. It'd be better if we could play it. Okay. If we have sound, I feel like I can't hear.
Concerning R&B singer and
This is a 3-minute video.
breaking news this morning concerning R&B singer and convicted felon
I
R.
need to run
Kelly.
this
Take a look
chat
at this
up.
post on X, courtesy of TMZ, in which they say that R. Kelly was reportedly rushed to the hospital from an overdose of medications in prison. TMZ also releasing an article. I do want to read you some of the reports that they have already issued here, as R. Kelly, TMZ says, is doubling down on his claim that his life is in grave danger in prison, now alleging the Bureau of Prison staff at his federal center in North Carolina purposefully gave him too much medication, causing an overdose that left him hospitalized. A court filing submitted by his attorney Monday claims R. Kelly was left bedridden in a hospital after a solitary confinement staff member instructed him to take additional medication the night of June 12th.
Okay, so she says what? He was left bedridden, which means he was like down and out. He couldn't stand. Sometimes you stand up too quick, you be dizzy. They tell you to take ease up to standing. But to me, it sounds like, it's a blood issue or a blood pressure issue or some kind of medication he was taking. Like clonidine, if you take that, you can't like just go from sitting to standing like just too quick. You will be dizzy. Sometimes these people do pass out. Okay. So I'm wondering, that's what this is what we got to get down to the bottom of, is who made the call? Like who said, okay, he has prescription medications. I would say that if somebody was on, medication, a normal person, then I know, sometimes these people, they'll be like, this is my night pill, this is my morning pill, this is my calming down pills. They know what they have. They know how many they're taking, If all of a sudden I took my 8 o'clock pill, and then just somebody come back around like at 9:30 or 10, like, here, take another dose. Average person would question it. I don't know. We know that, a lot of times when these people be gifted like that, they be kind of, how can I say this in a nice way? They be different, socially, y'all know what I mean? They be different, okay? And they do say it's known that R. Kelly, he can't read or write, or I don't know, he can do very little, I don't know. When we give out instructions, we have to do it at least a 4th or 5th grade level, no matter what the education level, because there's still a lot of people out here that cannot read or write. They cannot read or write. They can cuss you out, but they can't. It's like, I can't read. I'm like, how the hell supposed to know you can't read? But they got attitude. Then you're like, okay, I see okay. I know you don't want to have to say that, but I did not get it. Okay. Yes, Gail, they be on the spectrum. We ain't know what that really was when, R. Kelly was growing up, but they be having a gift too, It's, to me, it's like a gift and a curse. They kind of be like on the spectrum, but then they got some super talent. Like they could be like a genius in math, or they could be like a, engineer. Like they could do, or they could be very musically inclined. They could play piano. They could sing. They could, perfect pitch. They got some kind of gift. They do. So I would say if I know I take a pill at 8 o'clock every day, and then they coming back around with something else, I'm gonna be like, what's this about? What's this about? I'm a question. I'd be like, what? My doctor didn't tell me nothing about this. Last time I went, my blood pressure was fine. My cholesterol was fine. What is this extra pill y'all got me taking? And if this for real, then can the doctor come around and talk to me, or can I schedule an appointment in the infirmary, sometime during the break tomorrow, whatever? Like, I'm not going to just take it. Y'all not going to just take it, but he took it, which it makes it seem like us hearing this, me hearing this, I'm like, he in on it. You would think he was in on it, it's a scheme. It's a bigger plot. It's like an overall, they got a plan. We would think that if this man was of a normal level of intelligence, if average at least. But was it given an appeal for him? This sound like that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. They told him to take additional medication. And it depends on what that was. More than likely, they ain't going to give you nothing good. They ain't going to give you no extra Xanax. They probably, I think if he really was on, if he really had those clots, he was on blood thinners. And it don't take much with them. They say rat poison anyway. Whatever. If he on warfarin, that's easy. They ain't checking his INR. They don't even want to let him have no procedure to get rid of the clots he already got. They looking at him knowing he got clots, and they sending him home. We're gonna listen we're gonna listen a little bit more. I'm gonna go back just a pinch.
The night of June 12th. The next morning, R. Kelly allegedly awakened of June 12th.
Maybe a pinch more.
Bedridden in a hospital after a solitary confinement staff member instructed him to take additional medication the night of June 12th. The next morning, R. Kelly allegedly awakened feeling faint and dizzy, and when he attempted to get up, he fell on the floor, crawled to the door of the cell, and lost consciousness. He was subsequently taken to Duke University Hospital, and during the ride there, he claims he heard a prison officer begrudge, quote, "This is going to open a whole new can of worms."
Then they talking about him over his head.
During his 2-day stay at the hospital, Kelly says he learned he was given an amount of his prescribed medication that could have ended his life. Furthermore, Kelly claims in his Monday filing that prison staff.
And was he? It's like sometimes there be mistakes be made, in the pharmacy. Sometimes people get, they be in the wrong medication sometimes, or they get the wrong dose, or they get somebody else packaged. These things happen, that happens. Nobody's perfect, and we got, things we got to do when that does happen. But was it really? He could just feel like They gave me 2 doses of my medication. That stuff could have killed me. It's like, you got an extra dose of your thyroid medication. I mean, you know, it won't, you know, it won't really do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like, could it have been harmful? Maybe, possibly. Of course, no, don't give the people the wrong medicine. Don't give them extra dose of the wrong medicine. Hopefully it's not on purpose. He's saying it's on purpose. But sometimes just be like, it ain't going, you know, they don't do nothing. But I get it. We get it. You know, like the person that did it is wrong. They wrong, but it's like, it wasn't going to do nothing. This wasn't going to do nothing to you.
Staff took him off necessary blood thinner medication.
Whoa, wait, let me go back. Okay, I be talking at the wrong point, y'all. Hold on.
In his Monday filing that prison staff took him off necessary blood thinner medication and is now refusing to allow him a doctor-recommended surgery.
They took him off the blood thinners. Who took him off the blood thinners? The prison doctor? Because once you have a clot, you got to pretty much be on it for the rest of your life.
And is now refusing to allow him.
I need to see some paperwork. I need to see some real stuff.
Off necessary blood thinner medication. And is.
R. Kelly, y'all. I'm a fan, okay? I'm a fan of R. Kelly. Y'all know this. I don't feel like with him, I don't feel like I do with Diddy. I feel like Diddy is very smart. I feel like Diddy know what he's doing. Like with the business, with the money, with the court stuff. I feel like, you know, Diddy know what he's doing. And I feel like Game recognized Game. Diddy know other people that know what they doing. Like he can spot, he know the talent, you know. Like when you see somebody like in their element doing that thing they do, when they good at it, I feel like Diddy knows that. I feel like Diddy is smart. I think that R. Kelly is a great songwriter and producer. I think R. Kelly is very good at these things. I don't feel like R. Kelly no mastermind. I don't feel like no mastermind. I don't feel like that. I ain't getting that from him. I'm not getting it from him. I don't get that from him. Okay. And I feel like I feel like R. Kelly, how I be feeling like with these patients that come in the pharmacy and they don't be really knowing nothing about their medicine. And I tell them, and I told them Wednesday, and I'm telling them again Friday. They're going to ask me again next Thursday. Then they're going to call a doctor. They're going to have their granddaughter call me. You know, I feel like that about R. Kelly. So he talking about his medicine and people trying to, and it's like, they took him off his blood thinners. But did they put you on something else in the place of that? That's why they came back with the next round of medicine. Like, I need to know. I need a few more details before I can go ahead and, like, you know, come up with an answer on this. Because this sounded kind of like that. Oh, they gave me something that could have killed me, you know. And I believe in placebo. I told y'all that. Because if he believes that someone trying to kill him, he think that he believe it could be real to him. And then it's like they took me off of this and then they put me on that. We can't violate his HIPAA. Ain't nobody gonna let us see his medical records. They won't let us see these charts. We can't see R. Kelly chart, can't see Cassie chart, we can't see nobody's MyChart. But to get a real thorough, you know, answer on this, I need to see the full history of it. Okay. I need to see his soap note. What's his chief complaint? Like, what is he taking? What is he taking this for? You got any allergies or health conditions? We need to know more, Robert. But he can't answer these questions for himself. Like some people need. He needs not a power of attorney, but he needs somebody like a medical. He needs somebody to speak on his behalf. He needs somebody to. He can't be in there dealing with the drugs on his own. He needs somebody else in there with him. Y'all know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean.
Kelly says he learned he was given an amount of his prescribed medication that could have ended his life. Furthermore, Kelly claims in his Monday filing that prison staff took him off necessary blood thinner medication and is now refusing to allow him a doctor-recommended surgery to clear blood clots in his legs and lungs that are putting his life in danger. Instead, they have him locked up in solitary confinement, where Kelly has expressed to his lawyer he is convinced he will be killed or left to die. Therefore, the disgraced music mogul is asking for temporary release to home confinement for the third time, arguing his life depends on it. TMZ goes on to say that an assistant United States attorney swiftly filed a response to Kelly's request, alleging he continuously paints himself as the victim and adding, quote, "This is the behavior of an abuser and a master manipulator on display."
I don't get that. I don't think that R. Kelly is a master manipulator. I don't get that. I'm a good judge of character. You know, I know some drama when I see it, whether I speak on it or not. Y'all know I love Diddy too. But I feel like Diddy, you know, if they say Diddy came up with some kind of plan, like all this stuff, he'd have paid all these people under the table. That's why everybody that's coming up on the stand for him, they kind of not really going all in the way they should be going all in. I don't get that from Robert. I don't get that from him. He's somebody taking advantage of him. You know, I feel like he don't know. He can't, somebody else gotta speak for him. What is the word I'm looking for?
The response also claims Kelly knowingly submitted an action to a court that has no jurisdiction over his case.
See, I feel like now that's on his attorneys. They submitted this stuff to the wrong court. Is that what they saying? Like, he don't know nothing about that. He paying the attorneys. You know, like he doesn't. I think they give him too much credit too. I think they are too. He probably deal with these young girls all the time because they on the same level, you know, mentally. What did Whitney Williams have? Is it guardian? Is that the word? I feel like it's something else. What was is it executive of estate? What Britney Spears had? Somebody y'all know what I'm talking about though. They need somebody to be over all their stuff. They medical, they financials. They need somebody else to be like, you know, checking off on all this stuff. Cause he don't know what's going on. He don't know what's going on.
User and a master manipulator on display. The response also claims Kelly knowingly submitted an action to a court that has no jurisdiction over his case.
How can they blame him for that? Submitted an action to a case to a court that has no jurisdiction? He don't know. He don't know. He think the lawyers know. I would think that they know. If I say, well, what can we do? And I'm paying you, and then they say, well, we're gonna file a motion. It's like, okay, you know, like, okay, how you filed to the wrong court? How I'm supposed to know? They like, well, yeah, Kelly is filing this, you know, making these frivolous claims and this and that and this and that. What? He don't know. He doing this. Not that I'm saying he innocent. Clearly, they say he did whatever they say he did that. I guess, you know, they found him guilty of whatever, giving this man 30 years. I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at too.
Accusing him of instead choosing to write to let his court know that he is cold in prison and to criticize the medical care that he is receiving.
He cold. He probably is cold in there. I ain't heard Diddy complain about nothing in jail. Wait, has he been complaining? Well, that was months ago. I guess he getting out every day now. He get to come to court, so he ain't really being in that environment.
In order to turn his situation into a grocery store checkout aisle tabloid.
What?
Kelly's latest filing comes just a week after his legal team sought his immediate release due to an alleged foiled murder-for-hire plot against him. His team submitted a sworn statement from another inmate who claimed authorities offered him release from prison if he murdered the singer.
Okay, y'all. I don't know. I feel like I be like, I gonna have strong opinions about stuff. You know, I don't care. I will. But this right here, this ain't really sitting well with me. This ain't sitting well with me. So, what are his charges? First of all, we can't go off of what he's saying. They got to look at his medical records. They can't just take his word of mouth because he don't know. Okay? He don't know. People be coming there all the time. No, people take all kind of drugs they know nothing about. Okay? They don't know nothing about it. And they be on so many of them, they just take them all, and then they just decide they're going to stop taking them. They making their own medical decisions, but they need somebody else to make them for them and help them with them. Okay? I see this every day. Every day. And if they if they took him out, they made any kind of changes to his chart, whatever we're going to put you on this, we're going to substitute that, we're going to give you this for that, we're going to schedule your procedure out, 6 months from now, whatever they're going to do, like, who else is in there with him when he's getting this information? I guess it can't be nobody in there with him. But if he waking up, he dizzy, he's seeing dark spots, I don't know if he's just, they need to give R. Kelly a full workup. Do they give him a full workup when they first go to jail? Do they give him a full physical? Because he looking bad. And he done gained a lot of weight. How long he been in jail? I don't know what I think about this. Okay, so I don't know how to pull up my chart. Not my chart, but it's a table. It's a side by side. So I got it like this, okay? Because I was like, why is R. Kelly already in jail? I kind of get a feeling like Diddy could be in and out some days. I don't know if he's going, I don't know if he is going or not. Okay, so I got R. Kelly. He 58, Diddy 55. Location right now, R. Kelly is in North Carolina. Diddy is in Brooklyn. Is he in Brooklyn? He's in Brooklyn. Legal status, he's convicted. R. Kelly is serving 30 years. Diddy on trial right now. We all know that. What are the key charges? R. Kelly was found guilty of racketeering, sex trafficking, and videos and tapes of underage individuals. Okay. Diddy is on trial for racketeering, sex trafficking by force, doping up the victims, and interstate prostitution. Diddy got some heavy charges on him, but I think that the underage individual is what really was heavy on R. Kelly. And, okay, the racketeering, Diddy might go down for racketeering. What is racketeering? How they say R. Kelly was racketeering? He had other people doing it for him? His sidekick? R. Kelly had to have people helping him. R. Kelly could not do this on his own, okay? He couldn't. I ain't mean to do that. Got a headache. R. Kelly could not do this on his own. He couldn't. He don't have the skill set. Okay? He couldn't do this on his own. Okay? Medical incident. What happened with R. Kelly? He collapsed in solitary confinement, June 13, 2025. Okay, and what happened with Diddy? He was taken to the hospital. He had knee pain in early 2025. Diddy had knee pain. They took him to the doctor in the middle of the night to get an MRI. R. Kelly has collapsed. Okay, R. Kelly collapsed. He's having dizzy spells. He was already in solitary confinement. Okay. What else? That was the incident. This is the medical condition. Overdose. Blood clots in the legs and lungs. Okay, that's what R. Kelly got going on. Diddy had an old knee injury or tendonitis. Come on, y'all. That's crazy. What was the outcome? I kind of was going to do this like a soap note, but not really. Like, what's the chief complaint and all that? But, I ain't got time for that. Okay, what happened? R. Kelly was rushed to the hospital. The doctors advised extended stay and surgery. They brought R. Kelly home the next night. Not home. They took him back to prison like 2 days later. They ain't let him have a surgery. They talking about that procedure was gone. It kind of is feeling like they got it out for him. If these are legitimate, which, ain't no doctor they probably would be. They could be, people get paid. They take money for whatever, maybe they're just a fan or something. Who even knows? Coming up with some fake diagnosis to get R. Kelly a little time to be out the facility, at least in a cush hospital stay. I know people, they go just stay at the hospital every now and then. They want to get a few days off. I do know people like that. Okay. What happened with Diddy? They completed his scan and he returned with no public conflict. Nothing happened. They took him in the middle of the night. They had guards. He went in the hospital. It was cool. They probably let him walk around with no cuffs on or nothing. They had to take him off halfway to let him go through the MRI machine. They probably gave him Valium. He probably was like, I'm nervous. And they gave him that. Treatment by a prison. R. Kelly was removed from the hospital against the doctor's advice by armed guards. Diddy returned without force or incident. I wonder if it's a difference because, North and South, or if it's because of the crime allegedly committed, right? We all saw Diddy, have a situation with Cassie in a hotel. But we also all saw, the golden shower with Robert. We all saw that. But that's not what they ain't got that on here. Well, I guess that is the child porn, the underage individual pornography. Is that what it is? Those videos? That stuff was so old. I was in high school when they came out, I think. Anyway, what happened with, his legal claims. R. Kelly was denied surgery, assassination plot by prison officials, allegedly. Diddy has no claims of mistreatment or medical neglect. I feel like he was protesting and he was declining meals on his own. But I also think Diddy was detoxing. Nobody's talking about how Diddy is getting through these nights and days in prison. Considering the fact that Cassie is on Suboxone right now, which is for opioid abuse, it's to help you stay off of it. Like I told you, I ain't trade one thing for the next, but she on Suboxone. That's what she taking. So she ain't using drugs no more. But was she that much heavier of a drug user than Diddy? That Diddy is in jail just chilling. He's sitting up in the courtroom just chilling. He don't need nothing for opioid withdrawal. He has nobody say anything about him going through withdrawal, or are they sneaking him drugs in jail? I feel like Diddy. I don't know. I don't want to start putting this kind of stuff out there because when I start talking like that, I feel like the wrong people be picking up on it, and then I'll be like, got Diddy in trouble for more trouble than he already in on his own. But how is he surviving in there? If Cassie was hooked on drugs like that, because she had an addiction, he had it too. I feel like he was a heavier drug user, but this kind of same thing like with Bobby and Whitney. Whitney evidently was a heavier drug user than Bobby, but Whitney is my girl, so I don't care what she did. And she can sing. Okay. Meds allegedly involved: high dose anxiety, sleep drugs, possible benzos. We don't know. We speculating. I say benzos, maybe. I also say blood thinners. And they couldn't treat him at the facility, which is why they had to rush him out because they probably need the clot busters. Well, I can't remember the drug. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, if you're at these small little prison hospitals or you're in a small country town, they ain't got all what you need to go ahead and get rid of this clot. Okay. So they took him out to Duke where they like, okay, he need to have a procedure. And they like, nah, he'd be all right. He would have to be out the prison a whole week and he can't get no vacation time like that. Why they don't want to let this man be out? Like, Feel like it could be on some boy type stuff. You know, that boy don't need to be that boy. Y'all know what I mean when I say that. Okay. Diddy ain't got no kind of drug situation going on in jail, which is interesting to me because, you know, he had a lot of drug activity, these K-holes and things like that. Okay. Well, how is this a healthcare rights issue? Alleged denial of care, overdose via prison system. Diddy receive hospital care and no reported mistreatment? Like, I wonder if it's a North and South type issue, even though, like I said, we don't really say that North Carolina, you know, it's part of the South like that. We don't. Okay, let's see what y'all saying in this chat. I got some people in this chat. Okay, let's see. Let's see what y'all saying. Teresa says, and thank y'all for getting active in the chat. She says, you must eat while taking medication. Keep in mind, Kel's refusing to eat anything from the child hall due to his food being tainted with whatever. Okay, some drugs you got to eat with. Some of them, it don't matter. Some of them, they prefer you take on the empty stomach. But I see where we're going here. Yeah. He just probably, he could have been dizzy, yeah, from just his hunger strike. But he's paranoid. He thinks that they're trying to kill him up in there, so he ain't eating nothing up in there. Oh, he ain't doing well. How long he been in there? We all know these so-called victims were of age. You know, back in the day, we be like, back in the day, they could get married and you know, have 20 kids, you know, at 14, you know. Even though we ain't back in the day. Okay? He didn't while being on tour in different states. When you got people in your entourage and doing things in your name, knowing that he didn't take part in any of his alleged case. R. Kelly don't know what's going on, y'all. He don't know. I see these people every day. Like his handlers was really handling everything. Okay. He needs people. They was going to get the girls for him, or the parents was bringing the girls to him, you know. And he ain't, you know, he just, some people would be like, you know, he wasn't thinking. I ain't making up no excuses for him because, you know, he did what he did, you know, but I ain't making no excuses for them parents either. You know, and you can't make up excuses for these kids. They be going rogue now. Accountability has entered the chat. What does accountability say? You don't care about Whitney Houston's drug use because she could sing? Yes. Okay. Yes. And R. Kelly and Diddy had a song together. Y'all know that. He don't understand you like I do. No, he'll never make love to you like I do. Y'all know the song? So give it to me. I like the song. Give it to me. Because I can show you about a real love. And I can promise anything that I do. Music's still good. The music's still good. I mean, say whatever you want, accountability. What you think about what's going on here? What's your opinion? I love to hear it. What's your opinion about what's going on here with R. Kelly? I'm on the fence with R. Kelly. Diddy, I think that, you know, there could be things that Diddy, he just thought he was going to get away with it. He didn't think it was wrong, you know, because he does what he wants to do. Nobody puts baby in a corner, you know. He does what he wants to do. So it's like, you know, and even if Diddy is of a certain level of intelligence, that if you could explain something to him, okay, how this could be wrong, and he could get it. I feel like I don't think he's dumb. I don't think I get it dumb. Not at all. I think he's a genius, actually. But I do think that, you know, it's like, look, I'm past it. Why I shouldn't have to be worried about this. You trying to explain to him like, okay, this is the medicine that you're taking and this is what you're taking it for. He probably like, I don't get into all that. You know, I let them handle all that. They handle all my medicine. You know, I feel like it's like that. And they handle all his medicine. They handle all his finances. You know, he gets in the studio. He gets the music. He puts it out. You know, he's probably a wonderful person to be around. I feel like he has a great personality, great sense of humor. I know he's very talented. We know this man had a gift. You know, he is the Pied Piper, but he ain't no mastermind. He is not a mastermind. Diddy is a mastermind. I'm sorry, Diddy. You knew what you was doing. Everything you did. You didn't think you was gonna get in trouble for it. That's how that went. And you know, and it's like, okay, some of these other people know what they doing too, the participants. So, but they make a case for it. You know, y'all going to jail, buddy. Okay, but other than that, what I was gonna say. So yes, if anybody made any changes to R. Kelly's to his medications, it's gonna be a record of it. It's gonna be a record of it. Discontinue this drug. Like, okay, we want to start him on amlodipine, but we want to discontinue whatever. You know, that's in the chart. That's on there. And if they took him off his blood thinners, they put something else in place to replace that. They did. If they didn't, that is a problem. And some other medical person, whoever, even somebody like me, pharmacist, I'm looking, okay, so what is he taking now for this? You took him out the Xarelto, now you're going to put him on what? Yeah, Eloquence? What we doing? You know, he got to have something for this. He can't just not have this. And I think they did. You know, I don't know. You know, I ain't trying to stick up for some people I don't know in healthcare. But if they took him off his other medication, this is just what R. Kelly is saying. Like a lot of times people come in the pharmacy, they come in there, well, I tried to fill my lisinopril yesterday and they wouldn't let me get it and da. And then the doctor's office calling us like, well, this patient said you guys wouldn't fill the lisinopril. I'm like, it's on hold on a profile. Well, we sent it in on June the 10th. Yes, it's here. It was too soon to fill it, so we just put it on hold till it was time. Do they want to get it now? Because it can be filled today. Okay, girl, come on, just feel it. You know, you get in an uproar. You be in an uproar because of what these people saying, and they don't know. They don't know. It's like, well, why didn't y'all feel this? Well, that we sent this prescription in for this patient last month. Yeah, I'm looking at it. They said y'all didn't have it. Sometimes it could be crazy people working in the pharmacy with me. Like, they ain't look at the profile to see if they had it already. Because this person like, well, I need to fill this. And they like, we don't have nothing for you. They just looking at today instead of looking at the whole profile and see like, okay, it was sent in last month. They just tell them we ain't have it. So it could be, this fault could be, it's enough blame to go around. It'd be enough blame to go around. But if R. Kelly is saying this about his own medications, and we haven't looked at the chart, we haven't talked to the healthcare providers, we haven't talked to any of those people, we just going off of what R. Kelly said, I ain't doing it. And his attorneys, they seem like they're a little bit questionable right now too. If they filing the stuff in the wrong court, would they know the right court to file? They should know, right? R. Kelly don't know. He ain't expected to know. So it's weird when they say R. Kelly keeps filing these papers in the wrong court, talking about trying to be what did they say? A supermarket tabloid headline. That was kind of mean. He don't know though, y'all. Whatever happened to my poll? Did I put a poll in here? Let me see. Where is it? Oh, I don't even know if I did this or not. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, let me know what y'all think about that. Do y'all want to come up? Y'all want to come up? What time is it? Oh, it's still early. It's 9:39. Okay. So yes. Now I'm wondering, since R. Kelly got the racketeering, this starting to make me question Diddy. Okay. So what I want to talk to y'all about. overdose. If there's any kind of overdose that took place, well, I mean, he had like physical symptoms. He was fainting, dizzy spells, black spots, whatever. We need to know what he took. We need to know what he took, and we need to know how much he took. We need to know who wrote the prescription. We want to know who pulled the pills, who gave them to him. Who gave them to him? Because he's sitting in solitary confinement. Like I said, it ain't like he got like a planner, the little days of the week thing. It ain't like he got that up in there with him. But in solitary confinement, he's just in there. And they can't keep their own pills. So who's handing out these pills? Or was it like a shift change? It could have been something like that. But it's like you sign off when you give R. Kelly his pills, somebody like, okay, we checked that out. That already been done. He had that dose. He got the morning dose of that already. Then somebody come back around like, I want to see R. Kelly. I'm going to give him some more. Or are they really trying to... Okay, so I'm gonna say what I think about this. I think R. Kelly don't know what's going on with his drugs. I think he's paranoid. I think he's a little bit paranoid. But I also think that, it could be some truth to this. I don't think the Bureau of Prisons scared of R. Kelly. I don't think they're scared of him. Cause like for what, Scared of him for what? But I don't think that I don't think he should have got no 30 years for that. I think what about these other people? Cause he need a psyche eval. R. Kelly need a psyche eval. And an IQ test. I love R. Kelly. Y'all know I love R. Kelly. I love Robert. Y'all know that. But he ain't doing all this. No. Somebody else should have got some time with him. Cause he's not a mastermind. Okay, but anyway. That's what I think about that. And what I told y'all about Diddy. Y'all need to go back and watch my other streams. I don't know when I'm coming back again after this. Should I let y'all want to come and talk to me? I really want to meet you. Let me go and drop this link. Y'all ain't coming up here now, right? But I go and drop it just because. Just because. I said that like I was just finna drop the link, right? Let's see. It's just to satisfy you. Well, you weak, I make you strong, girl. Here's where you belong. I ain't perfect, but I promise I won't do you harm. Is that what he say? That what did he say? Let's look up the lyrics. Okay, what I want to say. Come and talk to me. I really want to meet you. Why my keyboard not doing nothing? How do I keep having these problems? Wait. Hold on. Ooh, is it pinned? Yes. I wanted to put come and talk to me on there. Maybe I should have done it on this side. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. I really wanna meet you. Can I talk to you? Y'all got any comments about Diddy? Any comments about R. Kelly? Because that's what we're talking about tonight. Robert. We're talking about Robert Kelly. Okay. We're talking about him. Let me see. Fighting for my life right now. Kylie said he fight for his life. Oh, I got some votes on my thing. Okay, let's see what y'all say. Oh, y'all think it was intentional? Ooh! They are trying to get him. They trying to get him. Oh my God. Why would they do that to Robert? So y'all do think it's intentional? Y'all agree with me? I don't, but I think that I don't think he was wrongfully convicted, but I think he was partially. Mm, 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 wrongfully. Okay, yeah. Y'all want to come up? Okay, so if y'all go back and look at my other screens, y'all will see what I said about Diddy, and all of that stuff is correct. Okay, everything I said about Diddy, I said all this is based off addiction. Okay, R. Kelly ain't got no drug addiction. He had an addiction. He probably don't want. He probably won't see nothing look like no. Y'all know it, when I do that. Y'all know that he probably don't want to see nothing look like nothing. He like, I don't care if I see another ever in my life. He probably don't want to see no dog either, but he definitely don't want to see no. He like, I just want to get home and lay in my own bed. It's cold up in here. They just feed me pills. I don't know what it is. I don't even know where I'm at. I just want to get in the studio and I want to play my music with people who want to play music, who only care about music. If they want to talk to me about anything else, if it ain't about a song, if it ain't, nothing about no business, I don't want to have nothing to do with none of that. No. What you say? Accountability? What you had said? Katt Williams said they want his music catalog. Mariah Carey is next. Did Katt Williams say that for real? I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. They want his music catalog. Because R. Kelly, buddy, when I tell you, y'all know he got hits on top of hits on top of hits. He got his own songs. He wrote everybody else's songs. And number one right there with him is Mariah Carey, the butterfly. Yes. Writing songs. Got her own number ones till the end of time. Got you number ones. Tell you how to sing the song. Okay? Oh my God. Why they doing this? How they gonna get Mariah Carey now? You can set these men up with this here. These men, y'all make it too easy on them. Y'all gotta have more discipline. Okay? More discipline. Don't let them get you with that. How they gonna get Mariah Carey? How they gonna get hers? They got Michael Jackson. They got Bill Cosby. I think Shannon Sharp got out of his little situation. We kind of died down a little bit. I ain't trying to bring it back up. Okay? R. Kelly in jail for 30 years. 30 years. He's in jail for 30 years. That's crazy. How are they going to get Mariah Carey? What's going to be the straw to break the camel's back? How they going to get Mariah Carey? How they going to get her? How they going to get her? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to try to think of no ways to get Mariah Carey. I want Mariah Carey to be successful. I want her to have everything she's supposed to have. She earned it all. R. Kelly earned his too, though. That man wrote songs y'all didn't even know he wrote. That's how it was. I went to Babyface concert one time. Keith Sweat, all these people like that. Man, you be like, he wrote that? Dang! These people be writing some music. If I told you once, I told you twice. I listened to that so many times, like last week when I started watching that clip with Diddy and Keisha Cole in the studio. He really was. He good. He good. He good, man. They got a talent. They be weird though. Socially, they be weird, but they have a talent. They have a gift. It's a gift. Like it's like that's the only way to explain it. It's a gift. I like to see people doing what they do, like whatever your thing is, and you in your element, like you know, you number one at that thing, then you do that thing you do. It's like, man, that's amazing to watch. I love to see it. Okay, whatever it is. Katt Williams. Now, when did Katt Williams say they want R. Kelly music? When did he say that? Katt Williams, me and Katt Williams, but I wasn't well with the predictions because I wasn't at none of these Diddy parties, but I knew exactly how it went down. I knew how it went with Cassie. I knew the drug situation with them. I'm telling y'all tonight about R. Kelly. When y'all hear about like they really do an evaluation, a real full workup on R. Kelly, and y'all find out, you know, and they talk about like, you know, his literacy level, his understanding, and the medications that he's taking and what he's not taking, and that this drug was discontinued and that they could actually discontinue it, and that he don't have clots just floating around in his lungs and in his legs, and, you know, it wasn't an urgent matter. Or that they really are trying to do it. They are trying to kill him. I hope they ain't trying to do that. They should kind of stop now, though, because we watching. We paying attention. We watching. We looking out for him. He in prison. He's serving his time for his crimes. They don't give nobody no right to be trying to kill him or, you know, take advantage of him no more, because they took advantage of him already. I'm telling y'all about, I told y'all, when I get to talking on here, I get to talking. I'm like, okay, R. Kelly don't know what's going on with his drugs. He don't know what's going on with his medication. Now, this man said, this other dude that admitted that they tried to do something, okay, we can start working with that some kind of way. But as far as what's going on with his medications, we can nail that right down. We can go right to it. Somebody initials is on something. Taking the pills out the machine, signing off on a prescription pad. Somebody's something. We can find out what happened with that. If they want to find out, that's easy. To figure out, who filled this prescription. This was a misfill. What this is, NTA, that's me. I did that. I reviewed it. Somebody, we can see who filled it. We can see who wrote it. We can see who typed it up. Every step in the process got somebody's name on it. You can't get nothing out the machine. You can't take nothing off the shelf. You can't do nothing. It gotta go through a chain. It gotta go through, you know, several people. So whatever happened with his medications, we can find that out. We can figure that out. That's easy. I hope we don't. I hope it's legit, because I really feel like R. Kelly just don't know what's going on with drugs with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff, you know, I'm like, okay, you went to an outside hospital. You went to Duke Hospital, and then they had armed guards, but they have to be armed though, right? He is a prisoner, an inmate, right? I mean, it sounds bad when it's like, okay, he had armed guards taking him. Okay, but he's a prisoner. So they had him cuffed, they had armed guards. It's like, yeah, you know, it seems a bit dramatic, and they like he being, you know, a master manipulator, but he's not being a master manipulator. I think he's genuinely confused about a lot of what's going on around him. I think he does not know what's going on. Most people don't be knowing. Shoot, I'd be like, what? Even me. And I'm in healthcare. I'd be like, what? So what's going on? They doing this? Okay, now we ain't doing that. You know, I gotta ask these questions. So I kind of don't know what's going on. Somebody else got to tell me what's going on. And his lawyers seem like, I don't know what I think about his lawyers. If they just filing papers in the wrong court, I would need to know if that's a thing. Like, okay, if this kind of stuff got to go to this court. It ain't like R. Kelly representing himself. You know, like he has people that he's paying. So they should know where to file the right papers at. But anyway, y'all ain't coming up. Ain't nobody hit the link. It's been real. I'm going to go and shut her down. Okay. It's been so much fun. Thank y'all for entering the chat tonight. I love my regulators as always. What I say? LOVE. Y-O-U. I love you. I love y'all. I still love y'all. Okay. As always. I got 10 more minutes. I can stay on here. Accountability, I'm still working on. I mean, I kind of wasn't working on getting on the right channel because I wasn't even gonna come back on here myself tonight. But I'm still working on that other stuff. I'm gonna get my channel together. Okay, but other than that, y'all have anything else y'all'd like to add? Is there one? Any questions, corrections, suggestions, comments, or complaints? Thank you, Gail and Knight. Thank you, accountability. Thank you, the condemned man. Thank you to all of the other new faces that I saw in chat tonight. I'm still small enough where I can recognize all of y'all. Teresa, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Danny Omega, he's a regular. Okay. R. Kelly ain't safe nowhere. That's a shame. He's the world's greatest. Man, R. Kelly got so many hits. I know y'all like that ain't important, but I mean, it kind of is. That's why we only care about what's going on with him right now because of the hits. Let's be real. Okay? Thank y'all for coming tonight. Boy, y'all don't be know who y'all gonna see. Oh, let me do my I had let me see, man. I probably know where it's at now. I had Chat GPT a while ago to like write me a rap to the tune of what these bitches want from it, like that, to DMX and listing all the drugs from the Diddy trial. Let me see if I can find it so I can do it for y'all. It's been a while. He don't understand you like I do. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Y'all ready? Y'all listening? So y'all know, Tamika, Tanisha, whatever he be saying. Okay, this is what ChatGPT told me. They say ecstasy, Molly, Percocet, Coke, Xanax, GHB, baby oil soaked, ketamine, psilocybin, Viagra 2, popping pills, mixing highs. There's nothing new. Euphoria, crashing, paranoia creeping, hallucinate, sedate, not a fed speaking, dissociate, seduce, lose control. Testimony says it all now. It's taking the toll. It's a whole song. I just like that part. Okay. That's the part that I really cared about. But it's crazy. This ChatGPT wrote me a whole song like the DMX. It's like, okay, Ghostwriter is now ChatGPT. Y'all get it? Tell me what you want from me. Now with Brenda, Letitia. It's like, but now it's ecstasy and Molly, Percocet and Coke. Okay, but anyway. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Okay. Wait, what'd you say? You say what? Put that on 3 6 Mafia beat. Which one? What 3 6 Mafia? What 3 6 Mafia? Hold on. Sipping on some scissor. Popping my collar. Hard out here for a pimp, side to side. What song you talking about? My AI rap. I'm saying, but tell them to what beat? What 3 6 Mafia beat? You want to create a beat? Because it'll create a beat for you too. Slide on my nut like corn on the car. Stay fly. I forgot about these songs. Tear the club up. This 3 6 Mafia. From side to side. What it is, what's up? Is that them too? I gotta think about it. I'm gonna put my AI rap. AI do everything. Okay, AI gave me a side by side table. I told y'all a long time ago that AI could make thumbnails, all kind of stuff. Boy, I was ahead of my time. Y'all wasn't ready for that. Okay, not sure what song, but that sounds like something they would say in their song. Okay, now when y'all hear somebody steal my rap, y'all heard it here first. And this is original. between me and ChatGPT, we co-wrote these. Okay. Ecstasy, Molly. I feel like I need to put more grit in my throat. If I was in the studio, I'd be like, hey, yo, like that. I be singing on this mic all the time, okay? When I'm not on the show. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. I enjoyed y'all. You know, I was just coming by, you know, touch bases, talk about our guy Robert here. Y'all know I'm a fan. Whatever, you know, you know, people you serving their time for they serving their time for. You know, we ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't none of our business. Diddy, you know, we gonna see what's up on him. We still keeping up on the latest with him. Even though I already told y'all the answers to all this stuff. And if y'all want to get like any updates on this, please go back and check out some of my previous streams. Until next time, y'all, what do I always say? These prescriptions, they keep piling up. These phones, they never stop ringing. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Who knows when that'll be. Ciao, Bella. Good night. Bye.